As he said, I'm Sam Grimes. I'm the best man to the groom, as well as his favorite cousin. I met Thomas approximately 25 years ago when I was born, being that he's my cousin. He has held a very special place in my heart ever since. We grew up together, and though life frequently takes you in different directions, he has remained a constant and a friend in my life that I will always be grateful for. So tonight, I thought of a few things I could say up here, and I decided I would go with a pretty simple story, keep it short. I thought I would tell you guys about how Thomas and Sarah came to be here tonight. So they met one another in high school, and Thomas quickly fell in love. He decided that Sarah was the woman for him, and with quite a bit of thought, shortly after he graduated high school, he decided that he wanted to marry Sarah. So he thought about it really hard. He knew that he had to ask Mr. Tawney first. So he went over in his head about 100 times what he would say to Mr. Tawney. And finally, he worked up the nerve. And if any of you guys know Thomas well, you probably know that he can be somewhat shy at times. So that was a pretty big step for him. And so on that fateful night, Thomas went to Sarah's house and he asked Mr. Tawney for a moment of his time, in which he asked him if he could have his daughter's hand. At the time, Thomas was in his early 20s. Mr. Tawney thought about this for a pretty short amount of time before he said no. And this is not to say that Mr. Tawney did not like Thomas. He did not doubt whether or not Thomas loved his daughter, but he knew at their current position in life, if they were to get married, it would cause struggles, which would cause stress, which is not good for any new marriage. So he told Thomas, if he kept his nose to the grindstone, that in time his answer would likely change. And obviously, it did, because we all saw him get married today. So the reason I tell you guys that story is because in the time between his failed attempt to marry Sarah and now, I have seen Thomas grow up a lot. He has become a man that can provide for himself, for his new wife, and seeing all you Catholics out there, the kids that are bound to follow. So, I would like to give props to Sarah for being the woman that Thomas needed to motivate him, because if there's anything I know, is that us men can be pretty slow to grow up and get our stuff together, and sometimes all we need is a good woman to point us in the right direction. And he's certainly not the only man in the room that has a wonderful wife who did that for him. So tonight, I would like us all to raise a glass. Mine's over here. To Sarah and Thomas. I hope that you guys will never forget that love is what brought us all here today, and that if you ever start to fall, you need only lean on one another for support. So I love you both, and cheers.
One more time, guys, that's your best man, Mr. Samuel Grimes. All right, next up, we've got our matron of honor. If y'all will put your hands together for Miss Ashley Holloman tonight.
Hello. Whoa, sorry about that. Hey guys, I'm Ashley, and Sam, you lied. You said it was gonna be short and sweet and not that good, and that was great. Now I got to follow up with that. No, but my name's Ashley. I met Sarah. It's been at least 5? Yeah. So like at least 5 years ago, we worked together at the dentist office. And honestly, the minute I met Sarah, like we just had this instant like connection with each other. I knew she had a brother, I had a sister, but it's like she was almost like my little sister. And then we just became really good friends, and we just developed this friendship that I truly have cherished for several years. And I'm just so happy for her and Thomas. I know Thomas some. I don't know Thomas obviously clearly as much as good as I know Sarah, but you know, yeah. But I know that he makes her really happy, and she truly loves him, and it appears that he loves her. And I just want to wish them a happy marriage. I pray that your marriage is blessed, that you have lots of fun, and that you have lots of babies. And and I hope he makes some serious magic this week in Disney World. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. One more time for the matron of honor, Miss Ashley Holloman. There's a lot of people that want some kids around here. All right, we've got one more special toast for you, and the night wouldn't be complete without it, I don't think. And if y'all would help make welcome one more time the father of the bride, Mr. Jack Tawney.
Sam, first of all, I've got to thank you. That was one I would have had a hard time telling it the way you did, but it was very good. Thank you. Just to kind of give you a brief synopsis of their relationship, courtship, whatever you want to call it now, their marriage. It actually was ironic because when we left here this morning to go to the church, we went to the room right inside where they actually they were in this room at the same time that they had not met yet. And it was when they were going, it would have been July 22nd of 2012, they were going on a mission trip with our church, where we went to Pittsburgh. And, you know, to go up there and help needy families, things like that, and everything. So, you know, they went to Pittsburgh and everything like that. They didn't know each other well. Apparently, there was more going on than I knew of. But I found out once they got home, Sandcastle Water Park, does it sound familiar?
And Kennywood?
In Kennywood Park, exactly. That's where they started their relationship. They met each other, and actually at Sandcastle Water Park, and I just found this out recently, probably about 4 days after the mission trip started, they had their first kiss. So, you know, and they came back from the mission trip. It was very successful. There were over 100 kids that went up there, and they just happened to run into each other and everything. As soon as Sarah gets home, you know, my wife and I and son, we go and pick her up at the church and everything. She said, I met a boy. I'm like, oh no. And it was between your junior and senior year in high school. So Thomas had just graduated high school, and you know, the story Sam said about me saying no, that was true. But you know, I think now he fully understands that the time was well worth it, because he has grown so much and everything like that. You know, this is our formal introduction, and you know, welcome to Thomas to the craziness of the Tawney and McCann families. So he's actually, you know, got to meet a lot of people that he's only heard about. So, which is good sometimes, but it's good. But you know, Thomas, you know, there was no doubt in my mind how much he loved my daughter. You know, that was very important. You know, her and I have many conversations about him, and you know, especially the date. Let me see, I got to find the date. November 16th of 2018. Does that sound familiar?
The night we got engaged.
It's the night before you get engaged.
That night.
Because what happened was Thomas came over to the house and Katie and Sarah ran upstairs. And I'm like, okay, what? And I'm sitting on the love seat. Thomas comes over and sits beside me.
This never happens.
And it never happened. I'm like, oh gosh, I know what's coming up now. And it's just, we had that conversation again. You know, he had been in the Navy for a few years and things, you know, he was really showing a, you know, good progression, things like that. The love that he had for my daughter had grown so much at that time and everything. At that point, I had absolutely no problem telling him yes. And, you know, he's been a part of our family for a number of years already. You know, he knows how crazy it gets at our house when we're playing cards. You have to know the game, but I'm always super scum when we play the game.
No, that's me.
We fight who is, so it's a card game we play. But you know, again, this is our formal welcome to the family. You know, I've loved him like a son for the last few years, and you know, I can't be any more proud of him, you know, for loving my daughter and everything like that. And you know, I hope they have a good, well, they're gonna have a great marriage. There's no doubt about that. The love's there and everything. So this is the formal welcome for Thomas. Now the hard one. My daughter, Sarah. My daughter, Sarah, you know, she is a loving and caring daughter, but many of you in this room know she's my hero. Because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here. And everything. So she's my hero and everything. October 17th, 2014, let's go back, or 2000, yeah. What, 2014? No, not 2000, I gotta get my mind. 1993 was our second wedding anniversary. And, you know, my wife and I had just been married 2 years. Well, when I get to the house, our apartment, she was really nervous and everything. And what it was she told me she was expecting. And, you know, Sarah, she was born on June 20th, which a lot of my family, you know, West Virginia Day. That's when and that's where we're from, so, and everything. But, you know, she's been a great child. She's been a, you know, loving, caring daughter. I couldn't have, you know, any better words for her. I mean, she's my hero and everything. But, you know, when it comes to, you know, their caring and everything, Loretta and Jerry, Megan and Lauren, can't thank you enough for raising that one like he is. He's a good man. And I'm glad he loves my wife, or my daughter. And he loves my wife too, but you know, he loves my daughter. He loves my wife. So, because she has really taken him in and everything. But you know, overall, you know, the main thing is they love each other. They're going to be a great couple. You know, it's going to be a little transition for them and everything. You know, being in the military and things like that. But they're going to be a great couple. And you know, I just want to wish them the best. And please, everybody, raise your glasses for them again. You know, for thank you, and God bless all of you guys.
One more time, guys. That's the father of the bride, Mr. Jack Tawney.
And we have one more person to speak, and I'm going to announce that person, and it is Manning.
I'm Damien, for those who don't know me. For those who do, I'm sorry. About almost 3.5 years ago, I met Thomas, showed up at the command that we're currently at now. Showed up as his supervisor.
Still is.
Unofficially. And then became a supervisor when I made rank, and I ranked him. It's great because I don't do anything. I sit at my desk, feet up, coffee in hand, and he does all my legwork for me.
No one that works too.
Yeah, that's true. But however, I met Thomas, took me in as a friend, and then pretty much adopted me as an older brother. It's been great, like having him as one of my best friends. continued. Then I met Sarah by proxy, and it was amazing. She adopted me as an older brother as well. But to this point now, I'm going to leave this to Thomas, but they have a special announcement to make. And it's hard for me, and it's going to be hard for some of you guys too.
Can y'all hear me? Okay. Try it. So, as many as y'all know, I am in the Navy. About, when you say 3 months ago? It's about 3 months ago. A lot of y'all know this already. My detailer called me saying they have orders to fill for a pre-com ship. And baby, do you want me to say it or do you want to say it? Speak.
Well, at the end of this year, Thomas and I will be packing up and moving to Hawaii for 3 years. So y'all can come and visit, just saying.
You gotta come through me first, 'cause I have duty.
But yeah, that was it.